Okay, it's 7 o'clock. I'm going to call the meeting to order. We have 4 commissioners here. We're missing Commissioner Vinciguerra. But we have a quorum and we will proceed. As is our practice, we start with citizens with business before the commission. I'm assuming we have. I forgot I was thinking, the representative from Atlas Construction Company. You on the line? Tim, is that your name, if I'm remembering correctly?
Yes, sir. We have.
Who do we have?
This is a guy from the law firm that sent the letter.
Oh, okay.
And this is Ray Koski, which I don't know who is. Ray Koski.
Mr. Koski, are you there, please? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm just listening in to hear about 91 Sheffield and also North Cove. Just
okay,
listen.
Great. Okay. Great. And the other person is?
Joseph Hammer. Good evening.
Joseph Hammer?
Yes, can you hear me okay?
We can.
Good.
We were expecting someone from Atlas Construction or representing Atlas. We'll proceed when or if that person joins, because he requested to appear virtually. However, Mr. Hammer, I'm assuming that you're here. Here's a copy of the letter. Yep. Regarding the letter that your firm sent today?
Yes. And first off, wanted to make sure that you all received it.
Yep. Well, let me ask this. David, do you have it?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, we all have it in front of us, actually.
Great. Thank you.
Is there any, you want to kind of give us the background on this, that, fill in the blanks on this letter a little bit? Not that I'm implying there are blanks in the letter, but if you're here and you want to say something, now's the time.
Sure. So let me, pretty much, I think the letter from Attorney Suchin's gave you background. We represent Leo Caldarella. He owns nearby property. There's also a reference there to some pending private litigation in which he claims an ownership interest in the applicant of the text amendment application, Ferry Landing LLC, and a related issue of whether Ferry Landing LLC has the authority to file the text amendment application, which is now before you and the zoning commission. But in terms of the proposed text amendment substance that you are reviewing, we think that there's some legal regulatory shortcomings with it, which will be addressed through the zoning commission hearing process. But the properties initially identified to include or encompass the proposed new zone include those that Cal Marine Enterprises discussed with this commission back in June 27th, 2022 with its consultant team. And we've attached the minutes of that discussion to the letter that you received. And specifically, importantly, the proposed prohibition of residential uses that's in the text amendment draft that you have before you limits future possibilities, future use, future development, including the type of true mixed-use community that was envisioned during and discussed during that June 2022 meeting. We know the town has considered this area prime for redevelopment, and we think that the proposed amendment, with the exclusion of residential use, as well as some other things, potentially undermine that future development vision. So that's essentially what we wanted to cover before you tonight, give you a little bit of context and remind you of, just 4 years ago, that other discussion which was had with you. And again, that was going to be the type of true mixed use community that this regulation would harm based on the residential prohibition that's being proposed.
Okay. Do you guys have any questions?
Just a comment, as I remember that I was there that night. I remember
I remember the discussion.
discussion and, constructing from memory. So forgive if I've got the details a little off, but essentially it was the whole swath from the south yard to the north yard.
Correct, it was both. Yep.
And that the town owns a piece, or the town owns a piece in the center there, obviously.
Mhm.
All the mixed use residential was north of town property.
I don't think so.
No, because I thought he mentioned that the south yard was going to be a marina and a marine repair
Mhm.
facility.
Mhm.
So if they're now looking to make mixed use for the entire swath, which maybe the attorney can answer, that would be a change in what they presented to us. But one of the reasons we liked it, as I recall, was that it maintained a marine use for a substantial piece of the property.
Yeah, I
Remember it differently?
slightly, slightly. What I remember was the main portion of the residential use was across the
Up
road,
hill. Yep,
okay?
up the hill.
But there was a very limited amount of residential on the water side of the road.
And it meant about halfway down the existing docks. About
Could
that.
be.
Yeah.
But the assurance given by Mr. Caldarella at the time, or at least the statement made,
Right.
when they redeveloped the south yard, because that's the only one that would have, no, excuse me, when they redeveloped the north yard, the efficiencies gained by redesigning the boating facilities would make them enhanced.
Right. There'd be more docks available to the public as well as the marine.
And the marine service areas landward too.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I remember. Yep.
So if the regulation is trying to permit residential in the southern part of this, that's not what we were envisioning.
Yeah, the major discussions were about the north yard, if I remember
Yep.
right. Now, bringing us back to why we're getting this, my understanding, because I just happened to watch there was an informal presentation made by the alleged, I'm going to try to say anything, owners of this north yard
Okay.
to the zoning commission.
Right.
It was very similar to this.
Yeah.
This was an informational session.
Mhm.
I just happened to watch it while I was working out.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
And essentially what they're proposing now for the
Presentation to the zoning? Is that who is?
Yeah.
Informal presentation.
in present,
Yep.
they're proposing no residential on the north yard.
Oh,
So they're taking away residential
okay.
that in
This-
2022, this vision held. And I'm just asking you, Mr. Hammer, is that the rub here?
I think our focus is just not wanting to tie the hands of the zoning commission or impede, whatever type of development in the future. And we just don't think there's a reason to eliminate residential as they've proposed. Obviously, any future development details would have to be reviewed by, the zoning commission. I'm not 100% sure, but maybe by this committee, by your commission as well. So just to write into the regulations, that prohibition, that restriction is just limiting in a, unnecessarily. So we would urge you.
What is the preserved marine industrial marine commercial? Not residential. It's enough residential.
And again, they're stating it in terms of whatever areas qualify ultimately for the zoning district that they're proposing.
You have something for us to approve tonight?
We do.
We do.
We've got a proposed text amendment
Right.
that I've read through, and look, a lot of this stuff we keep on saying. Yeah, I have to tell you folks that are on here, or at least Mr. Hammer, I don't know who else might be interested in this, is our role as the Harbor Management Commission is we get a referral from zoning if there's something, if there's some change that needs to be made that abuts, that abuts our jurisdiction. And our guiding principles are, does it meet, is it consistent with the harbor management plan, or is it not consistent? We say yes or no. And then there's a process if we say no. That would be a bad answer. All the stuff you're talking about right now, just in my view, is something you guys you should be taking up with the zoning commission, not us. And I'll say something else. If you start asking us to look at, or you want us to look at, not that you are, or you have a vehicle to do that, residential in a marine industrial zone, we're going to look at it really, really hard.
Yeah.
That based on the way we voted consistently.
Yeah, and
so,
and I guess I'm just going back in time. I wasn't involved in it, but my understanding, and I think one of you may have already mentioned this. My understanding is that earlier discussion, there was residential on the east water side as well as on the west side of Ferry Road, and I think they had all the marina operations at the South Yard Marina, and only residential, commercial, and public access were proposed for the North Yard Marina. This gets a little bit confusing, but I just in terms of reconstructing. But again, is there a need to have that? And I think it's 0.8 of their amendment, something 0.8, where they have all the different numbered sections. That's the one that talks about the no residential. But I think in part that's contrary to what the discussion was in front of you in 2022.
No, I'll tell you what the discussion was. I remember it because we were quite enthusiastic about the proposal by Mr. Caldarella, even though it was allowing, first of all, it's not binding. You understand that, right? This was an informational session. Nobody took a vote. Nobody approved anything. There was nothing in front of us to approve, right? Do we agree on that?
Right. It was an informal.
Okay. But the discussion was, he wanted to know kind of a gut feel of what we thought of it as he moved forward. And we would have given him, I don't know what the commission said exactly, but historically, anytime someone says residential in a marine industrial environment, it's not well received by this commission. The only thing that made this one a little different was that he made some representations, assurance is probably too much of a word, that the marine activities in totality would be kept the same or enhanced. And that I don't know exactly what we do. Those are good words for us. Fair?
Yeah.
So I think just that's helpful, and I just think along those same lines, this amendment would, basically is seeking to prohibit that use, which, as you've described, at least, had the potential to enhance the marine component again. So, the question really becomes, why is it necessary to do that and sort of eliminate, a potential tool for the future?
Because it needs to not have residential in the southern part of the property.
Let's call it the western.
The western, yeah.
The eastern part of the property. eastern side of the road.
East,
Yeah,
right.
right, so.
East-west.
No, it's north to south. Going up the river.
Worse north.
Then it turns west.
Hmm.
So our responsibility as zoning is to respond to what's put in front of us.
Right, and we're gonna
We're gonna
respond from Harbor Management Commission.
Yeah.
Yes, how, whether or not it's
And
consistent.
we like this.
Right, yeah, I don't see any, and I think what they're hopeful is that we go back, push back on this for housing in the marine industrial zone.
It's
It's
never
very,
gonna happen.
yeah, it's
It's not gonna happen.
it's the wrong commission to be looking to add housing to, but it's not that we're, yeah,
Yeah, I kind of look at it the same way.
I do too.
they can do whatever they do in zoning.
You are asking us to reject something that we endorse. And as a concept, and our harbor management plan requires us
Or
to.
include something that we typically don't endorse.
Correct.
Right.
That's a better way to say it.
Which isn't something we would do. We'll be fine with this, and then if zoning feels the need to
To
include,
change that.
yeah, then that's
Then
that's
that's.
a different
yeah.
thing. But
I do believe that the quarrel that they may have is more appropriate at zoning than us.
Absolutely, yeah.
Would you like to say anything else, Mr. Hammer?
I think I've covered what I had. Again, I just think ask you not to forget that there could be a helpful connection between a residential aspect and the promotion and enhancement of the marine use that you've indicated is important to this commission. I think the chair indicated that potential, even though there was no application before it, but I'm saying that potential could still exist, and why adversely affect that potential. So,
Well, let me tell you, I look at it another way. If you're losing the small amount, what we were discussing at the time was a very small amount of residential, right? If you took that residential away, it just leaves more room for the marine industry. So I still think we're going down.
We're gonna like that.
We're going to like that even more. So
we're just it's an unusual place for the harbor management to then comment on.
Yeah, we would be
Including residential.
housing in marine.
Right, like
industrial. They're gonna
it's-
look at us like it's smoking dope.
Yeah, and it's an unusual
Right.
thing for us to be, we can,
But your quarrel about who's in charge of who owns the property and everything else, that's with the zoning commission or the courts.
Right.
yeah.
No, not us.
And I think even that language is really gonna sit with zoning for them to come back and
Yeah.
determine whether or not
And they would have to come back.
residential should be included, should not be included. But I don't think it's in our position to go trying to push to include residential
I would agree.
in these regs when we're happy with the way it would be written from a marine perspective, understanding that that may make things more challenging to do the whole development.
Right.
Or limit future developments.
Okay,
Since we're into
with
this.
that as a background,
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a motion that, the Harbor Commission, writes a letter that the petition to amend the old Saybrook zoning regulations as set forth in Mark Calderella's June 16th, 2026 letter is consistent with the harbor management plan.
I'll second.
Wait.
Yeah, we moved.
This has to do with that. That doesn't have to do with the letter.
Yeah, that's what
Oh, yeah.
we just pulled it in.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
We gotta get to that.
We gotta get to that.
I think the letter we just.
Here we go. Yeah.
What's on your agenda is what zoning sent you, which has nothing to do with that letter. This is a comment related to that.
A
because
comment
it was-
related to.
Did I read it wrong? Petition to amend. This is the petition.
Oh, and you said Calderella, that's, all right, yep,
Yeah, it's 11 a.m.
Okay.
Do you have it or do you want me to repeat it?
no, I got it.
Okay.
And I'll second.
And second, any further discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor say aye.
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 David?
Aye. Aye.
Okay, passes unanimously. Mr. Hammer, you're welcome to stay. You're welcome to leave. We won't be offended either way.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
So,
Bob, we also have another guest, and then we have Tim's. He's from, DACO. Who
okay.
you were waiting for? I don't know.
Okay, before we move on, just administratively, Tim from DACO, you're on the line now?
Yes, yes, I am.
Okay, there's another guest. Maybe I'm remembering this incorrectly, but there's another guest that is on the line. You can identify yourself if you want. I'm just asking if you have business before the commission you would like us to hear before we go on with our regular agenda. Okay.
Tim have a presentation because.
Tim, do you have a presentation?
What?
Anything?
I do.
or-
I do.
Okay,
So I'm
we're gonna promote. Sorry, go ahead, John.
Yeah.
We're gonna promote you so you can show us your presentation.
Here we go.
Great.
Okay. Good evening.
Welcome.
How are you?
Good.
All right. Well, thank you for getting us on the agenda tonight. I have, this has been before you before. This is 91 Sheffield Road. Just a little bit of background. My name is Tim DeBartolomeo. I'm with DACO. Last time this project was in front of you was presented by Keith Nielsen. Keith was the former owner of DACO, and now my firm, Sound Engineering Associates, has acquired DACO, and you'll be seeing a lot more of me moving forward. Okay. So just a little introduction there. And last time we were here, there was a question about the zoning approval for the use of the property for the shared dock proposed at this dock. That's been resolved, and now we are presenting we'd like to submit the application to the DEP, and I'll just walk you through the application. If I can share my screen, give me one moment, please.
Walkway. Dock. Is where they didn't like.
Okay, can everyone see the screen?
Yes, we can.
See the drawings? Okay. All right. So here we are in the world. We're in North Cove. This area here where my cursor is 91 Sheffield Street. This is going to be a 4-lot subdivision. It's been approved by zoning, and part of that subdivision is going to be a private shared dock, which is going to be put in this northeast corner of the property.
Property line.
All right, moving to the next page. Again, just a blow up of the area nearest the water, and
Wait, we see.
there's a marsh area that leads to North Cove. So we have we span over the marsh area to a gangway to floating docks. Again, we go a little closer, and we have open grading deck over the marsh to a gangway to docks that can service 4 vessels. These are transient docks. They're meant for owners to be moored out in deeper water, come in, load or unload, and be gone. So that's the intent here. We also have a design. This is now, if you will, bear with me. This drawing is split up into 3 pieces. So you take the left end of this section and add it to the right end of the part above it, and the same here. So this is all one long structure, and we've just shown it this way so we can show it at a larger scale. And these docks are chained to their piles so that they remain 18 inches above the substrate, as required by the Army Corps for stationary docks. It's relatively simple. We are looking to get this. The DEP has, they have gone through their review before the local zoning matter cropped up. So we expect that this is going to go through relatively quickly at the DEP office, and we'd like to get this in as part of the development and ready for the coming 2027 season. So with that, I'm available to answer any further questions, and we request that we get the sign off for the pre-submittal consultation forms.
Just so these guys know, I called Chris Costa and I called him just to verify that in fact the development has been approved, but used those generic words, and both confirmed that it has.
Thing I don't see on this drawing is the bench
I was thinking about that too.
and where the gate is for the owners to get down to the dock. Does the public has access to some point along this dock, and there was going to be a bench there.
Yeah, so it would be this is drier area over here. This is all Phragmites in this area. So the public access is along this edge. I mean,
So the bench is at the end,
yeah,
at the very end. So there's a gate at that point where your cursor is.
that's correct.
That's where the gate is, and that's where the bench will be.
That's correct.
It doesn't show a bench or a gate on the drawing.
We can certainly add that.
It's just deep, okay.
Yeah, it's outside their
Okay, it's
jurisdiction.
outside the jurisdiction, never mind.
Yeah.
Okay. But as long as you answered that, then that's consistent.
Yeah, we've added it, correct. If you look at and I don't have it in front of me, I might be able to bring it up, but
That's
if
okay.
you look at the approved site plan,
Yep.
the walking path and everything should be shown on that. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you have any issues with it?
Not in a place to influence navigation or anything, so.
Yeah, that's what I was just looking at the area.
Yeah.
David?
No, I'm fine.
Well, I'm sensing there's no resistance to it, so I'm gonna call for a vote, this is for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, sure, got the right one here.
Here it is. I've been stealing your LWRDs.
I'm gonna make a motion that, the harbor management plan authorized me to, say that the LWRD for the Atlas Construction Companies at 91 Sheffield Street is consistent with the harbor management plan.
I'll second. There you go. Good name.
Further discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
David?
Aye.
Passes unanimously.
Thank you, gentlemen. Have a good evening.
So just let me ask here, do you want the original?
No, we don't need the original. Whatever's easiest for you, if you want to scan and email,
Great.
that would be fine.
Okay, sounds
All right.
great.
Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
See you later.
Bye. Yeah.
Today to 20th?
Yep.
you don't mind if I don't do this.
No, I'm gonna do it right now. It's the list. Rip that. You got probably already know where it is. Down there, it's the Kirby's Beach. Kirby's Beach here. Yeah. This. One of those. Yeah. With the rip rap.
I just give this to you and say
Yeah.
that to him.
Yeah.
I'm marking that up in the title there, because I don't read things. Okay.
I know where that.
So if there are no other citizens with business before the commission, we'll just move on our agenda. Approval of the minutes of June 15th, 2026. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor say aye.
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 Abstain.
Well, it still passes. 3 ayes and an abstention. Okay, Jennifer, quick report.
So we're up to 100 people on the North Cove wait list.
That's astonishing, right? That's the highest I think of.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever quite made it to 100, but
Yeah.
we are. So print it out. And so pretty much everything else is the same because all the waitlist stuff is closed and, the season is closed. Flats and beaches are about what they normally are at this time of year. And the fiscal year did close June 30th, and I was able to get all of the bills in. And most of them are represented here except for the online mooring ones that I didn't get until this morning. I mean, he sent them Friday afternoon, but I was not there anymore. So next month I will have the complete end of fiscal year for you, but this is pretty much it right now because this is pretty updated. So you're in good shape. I mean, the receivables were only 3,500 off, even though 10 people took sabbatical. So that's not too bad.
3,500 right there, right? Just about.
Yep. And then, you were under budget in total, so.
Yep.
Remind me for a second. The $4,200 that we year-to-date expense. Oh, that's probably a combination of the water line, right? And what we paid to, what we paid on the, what we paid the coastline for the dredging permit. Anything else in there?
I don't remember what's in the 42,000. I can get a report for you though.
I'm just curious because it always screws me up with the fact that they took 25,000. I can't remember. Leave it, and moved it to another pot of money for
Right.
the because of the matching funds grant. I'm just wondering if that 42 includes. It's not really important. It's not really important. Any questions for Jennifer?
No.
Okay, North Cove. I'll take North Cove. Dredging update. I don't have one. All right, so that's easy. Dumpster update. We had an incident with the dumpster. The dumpster was allegedly filled with some household trash which caused the dumpster to overflow, which caused everyone to run around with their hair on fire.
I had to be part of that.
Okay.
There's no room
not
to
making-
drop off your trash?
It was
Not that part.
I have pictures if anyone.
It was a mess, okay? It was a mess. The remedial thing was, I do think I take this job seriously, but I was not gonna start digging into the dumpster to find
Find
out
out
if the
the names.
alleged couch was underneath it, causing it to overflow,
Right.
okay? So, the remediation of that is, we had some information from Rob, who uses it, and said it hasn't been emptied in
Yeah.
2 weeks to 3 weeks, is the best guess.
Yeah, I'd been down there for a number of weeks in a row, and it was growing over the top and spilling over for a while there. So yeah.
So it may or may not have been filled with.
Exactly, that was kind of my point. I have no idea, like, everything that I saw looked like trash that could have been coming off boats, could have been, somebody could have dumped their trash, like, it was trash, though, it wasn't,
Yeah.
there wasn't a refrigerator sticking.
Right.
I saw it as they just never picked it up, and it continued to fill to the point where it was overflowing, and it had been overflowing for at least 2 weeks while I was there.
What's they supposed to do? The town does this stuff, right?
The town does, and here's the remedial fix to this, okay, is that, absent cameras to catch the alleged perpetrators, which I'll talk about under the camera update, okay, is that we called, I think it's All Waste, and said, whatever you're doing now, we want it once a week,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
And we'd like, this is so unarticulate, I don't know what's at Ferry Road, okay? That's where I draw the line. I'm not looking at dumpsters up Ferry Road, okay? That's David's.
That's right.
He's got fixes.
I have a waste basket at the clothesline.
So, Block Island and a couple of other places, what I've seen there is, there's this little door in the side, okay, and the top is locked down.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
We asked them to
Give us one.
give us one of those.
Yeah.
So at least we can stop
Refrigerator.
refrigerators and smaller items that don't fit through the door.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's gonna solve it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to bring it up because,
Yeah.
everyone was very helpful and on it immediately and stuff like that. I had to stop in the middle of Sheffield Street when Scott's coming the other way and he's waving me down, but, that's his job, you know what I mean? Keep that-
Do the old man thing, just keep driving.
Well, it was becoming a mess. It was like,
Look, he was right.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
he had texted me earlier. He wanted to make sure I knew about it. Jennifer or somebody was right on it. On Monday, they called as of Monday night. This happened over a weekend, it hadn't been emptied. So I don't know what their schedule is down there,
yeah.
but I think it's fixed. If not, if you're down there and you have
Okay, yeah.
feedback,
Okay.
that would be wonderful.
Honestly, I really do think it was linked to them not picking it up, not
Yeah.
people throwing additional. I've never seen an issue with people coming down, throwing random items in it.
We had a
I don't
microwave
think
the
that
other
was
day. 2 years ago, we had a microwave.
Okay, down.
Okay, that's the
And
only,
I don't doubt people found an open dumpster and they're
Yeah,
gonna
sure.
try and use it, right?
right.
So I think it's a good solution, what we've come up with, but I do think just having them there, actually coming on whatever frequency they're supposed to, it's probably gonna resolve it.
But if you see something down there like it's not working,
Yeah.
please reach out, okay?
Yep.
Anything on the clothesline?
Just, there's, the town has, agreed to do some ragweed, construction down there. And they've got approval, all the approvals from all the people they got. And Brian, who does our landscaping, is gonna do it. It's like a $300 thing, and Claffey is, who's gonna pay for it this time.
Wow, great.
For the first application. It has to be done over 3 years. This ragweed would just go
Come in.
right, come in, just
Yeah.
take over the whole clothesline. So it's gonna be a multi-year thing. And, so we'll get it done this year through the town, through the, Public Works. But we should probably put it into our budget with Brian for the second,
Sure.
third and subsequent years. And my wife estimated it was $300-ish, that kind of a range.
Sounds
So-
great.
So just FYI.
He's been very helpful.
Oh my God, he's been really.
He's been very helpful. He was one of the people that emailed me and said, you got a problem with the dumpster.
Yeah.
I did my best to clean it all up, but
Yeah.
you know, so he's been very helpful.
No, he is. He's been a good citizen as well as the,
Yeah.
you know, person. And, what else was I gonna say? Oh, I've been monitoring polls. I don't know if Scott has been, but I've done 2 poll counts.
Good.
And I have dates. I forgot to bring it up with this my car, but I'll do it again, you know, a couple weeks.
Yep.
So I'll have 3 before the deadline and a couple after.
We're just coming right around the corner, by the way.
Yeah, I know this.
You know, it's,
July something.
I think it's August 3rd or
I
something.
think one person had filed a Rule 11 on the clothesline.
Yeah, I see how that.
Yeah.
There's a couple of polls that don't even have lines on. So that's irritating to people who are on the wait list, of course.
It's the same thing with the kayak rack. People are very irritated seeing there's a lot of empty spots there. They keep calling me and being like, what do you mean I can't put my kayak down here? There's no.
Or that we, you know, yeah. So we probably need a kayak count going on too.
Who wants to take that on?
I'm down there, so I'm happy to do so.
Why don't you do a couple of surveys of the kayak rack? It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be extensive. And if all of a sudden you have the same kayak missing, well, if you do it 3 times, right?
Yeah, not a big deal.
We'll send them a letter next year. All right, and say, you're not using it. If you don't use it, we're inclined to, you know, move on to another person.
Right. Yeah, we have the 50% rule with the kayak, but we never did.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's just,
We haven't
But
done-
we'll see if we need it.
Did we add it?
I thought we had.
Added
Maybe
it.
we had. Maybe we had.
I think we maybe did. But
Well,
I'll start with that.
yeah.
the kayak rack isn't even in the rules, I don't think.
Right, right.
So I don't think it's a formal rule.
Right. But we'll start with a count and we'll know what we're dealing with.
Sounds good.
Great. That's it for close line.
Could I see your phone with Scott?
Let's hear from all the way up there at Ferry Road.
Oh, yeah, Ferry Road first. David,
Anything?
Ferry Road, anything you want to talk about?
No, well, you probably all saw the bill from Appleby and Catone. I wasn't down, I never saw them down there, but apparently some of the guys did see them down there, and apparently what they did is they repaired that
Yep.
backflow preventer. It is not leaking, but of course it was an expensive bill. I think it's $1,000. The only other thing we're having down there, we still don't have a lot of water pressure for some reason. If more than one person is using the water, there's a pressure drop. I don't know what's causing it. So, but it's still, I mean, you have to have a couple people using it before it drops. It's still usable, but I'm surprised that we don't have that kind. The pressure is not as high as it should be.
That's interesting. You know, David, we brushed on this last time we met, and when Lou has time, we should probably try to get him out there, you know, the collective we. If I see him, I'll mention it to him, just see if he can figure out a simple reason why that's happening.
It's due to the restrictor.
Might be,
It might have
you know, it might be, but that,
restricted.
you know, there's a lot of pressure in those mains.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I would think it
Yeah.
wouldn't be
I can
terrible.
give him a call. Yeah, I'll call him.
Okay. Harbor Master report, he's obviously not here. I'm gonna try to interpret. He sent a note to Jenna. Okay, we'll bring up cameras next meeting. He's on the camera thing, tied to the dumpster. Someone overfilled dumpster at Sheffield Street with house stuff. Other than that, transient people using guest moorings in the river. Right? So there's three issues: cameras, the dumpster, which we've talked about, the legend, okay, and then transient people using guest moorings in the river. I don't know what that means, whether there's,
That sounds
he
like a
wants
good thing.
more of
Yeah,
them,
sounds like it's-
or wants
people are
less of
using-
them, or we
Yeah,
got a
people-
problem.
No, I think it means people are using it.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
that's the way
I have seen
heard it.
boats on it.
Yeah, I have too.
Well, they're not all transients out there. I don't know which
Yeah,
two
right.
are transient
Right.
and which ones are out there. I think there's 3 other boats out there, a total of 5.
Yeah.
One thing I will say, it's tangentially about this, because we took 10 boats out of the cove and put the moorings in, we don't have this swath of 8 Rule 11s this year, right, that people can use. So at least at the beginning of the season, it was, you know, we did have instances where all 3 moorings were, taken. And we had 1 or 2 transients on moorings we knew were open. And one of the other Rule 11 people is in a relatively shallow area for a sailboat. So that's kind of a negative effect of the sabbaticals, but still the right thing to do in my opinion. Going a little out of order, I'll talk about the camera discussion because, it comes up a lot, not a lot. But this is what I told Scott. I said, next time you come to a meeting, I thought it was going to be this meeting. I want you to write down every single thing you can remember since you started this discussion, has to be 5 years ago, that bringing up cameras would prevent. And then I think we've got a good amount of data here, right? I did make one call to the police department, and this isn't like 100% solid information, but use it as a range, right? So I said, if we knew who the perpetrators were, who allegedly filled the dumpster
With alleged couches.
right? What's the ramifications, right? And they basically said $100 fine. So I don't think this is has to be profitable or has to be, but that's the general range we're talking about.
Yeah.
For somebody overfilling a dumpster, right? Using that as or leaving a microwave there or whatever. So I'd like to hear what Scott comes up with. But I think that's a reasonable request. Right? And I'll be fair and I'll add, I've got 3 or 4 in my mind, all at the lower end of the scale. We had one boat that was hit, and
One boat that was untied. Yeah.
one boat that was untied. But now let's start thinking about that. I'm sorry, I'm going to do this down. Because I'm thinking, okay, we got a boat untied. First of all, the camera has to have the ability to look way into the cove, okay?
Yeah, camera.
Right? And then all of a sudden we find the boat untied. I'm just trying to think it through in my mind, right? Somebody's got to get the tape, whatever recording medium it's on, the chip or whatever, out of the thing, and sit there in front of a computer screen for I don't know how long, going next. I don't know what you do, but it's not that easy.
No, it's not that bad. It brings up a screen full of little displays. And you've got the date, and you can click on the date, and you can actually see, the still image.
Then I stand correct. That's why I'm bringing this up.
And the other thing you consider, you could put a camera at Sheffield, you could put a camera at the dock launch ramp, and you could put a camera at the clothesline. And you'd have pretty good coverage of the cove.
Okay.
Yeah, and I always thought of it, I actually never thought about it actually covering the cove. I
Right,
just
I didn't
thought about
either.
it covering the
I didn't
the
either.
property that it was on. I don't think we've ever had a problem with people's dinghies disappearing or anything like that or damage. But I think it's just
Brian had his engine, someone tried to steal his engine.
really.
They unbolted, yeah, they didn't get
Yeah.
it.
But see, it would discourage things like that. It's just my thought, and you can't really put a value on that, fortunately, because it's something that's not going to happen. And there are also all these like access points. If somebody was going to go out and tamper with a boat, they kind of have to come back somewhere. They're not gonna come
Would
back.
likely be one of those 3 spots.
Yeah, I mean, it could always be North Dump or something like that too, but,
I'm gonna be quite forward, okay? I'm not doing cartwheels about this.
Yeah.
yeah.
But I want this to be, I'd like this to be a thoughtful discussion,
Yeah.
all right? A reasoned discussion amongst all. So I'm giving you what I thought a good start was with Scott. You guys can correct me if I'm misstating how hard it is or whatever. But so maybe at the next meeting, we have a more thorough discussion on this. This is kind of whetting the appetite.
Out of curiosity, where do you see it headed to? Because we had talked about the police department has a number of, so it's having them just added into their network. And then does it become something that we pay for to be part of their network, or is it just, yeah?
But we would
That wasn't-
have access if if it was the police. They're unlikely to be giving us access.
But I think we could get down there if we had a problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sit with them or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
But my understanding was at the time, different police chiefs and everything else was not 100%. Chief Sparrow was going to get us estimates from his contractor that sets these things up.
okay,
And it was in the thousands of dollars, is
Yeah.
what I remember.
But it was one time.
I'm not 100% convinced that, but it probably is.
yeah,
Okay.
If it was
And
a monthly thing,
the-
this guy.
The idea of it was when it's under the police's, I could have this all wrong. All right. I'm just going to say that, but there are privacy issues of which I can't articulate.
yeah,
If we just went and bought some cameras off of eBay and put them up there, or
Yeah.
Amazon, we can't do that. This is already covered with that. So it gets rid of that. And if we all think it's something to pursue, I'll take the time and do it. Okay. Even though I don't want to do. Gotta say that.
I'll help you.
I understand. I appreciate that.
So I'll be here. No, I won't, actually.
I know that. I
usually
know.
promise.
I know. General correspondence. What do we have, Jennifer? I know there's.
That letter right there.
Yeah, let's take that one first, because it
This is
was,
the worst thing.
no, this was evidently, there was a notice from Deep. How did we get this? Did they copy this to us?
Deep sent it to us, yeah.
is that a notice of violation?
Yeah.
Is it tied to this property? Because this is clearly a,
No, it's for Saybrook Point Marine.
Saybrook Point Marina, you know how they have that, by the gas dock, they have
The
a
light
structure
bulb.
up there.
Yeah.
They would rent it out for weddings and bridal showers or whatever. And it was, according to Deep, it was specifically denied that they could build it.
It's been there 20 years.
wow.
Yeah, I think they said it was denied in a letter dated April 20th, 2004.
Wow.
So what they did, which I'm not saying it's generous, good, bad, whatever, is said you have this thing rented out. So you have one more year, you can keep on renting it, but you have to show us proof that it's going to be discontinued within the next 30 days.
Wow, yeah,
Wow.
So that's pretty interesting.
yeah.
Huh.
Brave of them to build it after getting it denied.
Yeah,
I think it's wow. Good. Thanks for
Yeah.
actually.
There's a lot going on down there.
Yeah, so this is next gen. Who's this responding?
Correspondence.
Yeah, okay, correspondence. The first one is an email, July 17th from Karen. All right, and this is in a response. Jennifer generated a letter to both the people in the clothesline and the people on the wait list. If you recall, two of them were very similar requests about transferring mooring or waitlist rights One of them was the clothesline. I'm assuming we agreed to that. I can't remember one way or another, frankly. But we sent them a letter, Jennifer drafted, I checked it, and she's just responded.
Yep.
Outlining, boat has to be registered to you and provide proof. Okay.
The next one is not technically a Rule 11. It's just,
No, yeah.
yeah, it's just
Yeah.
correspondence also.
I think we can cover it.
And then the handwritten note from Ensign Bourne, it's just he's going, to Rule 11. It's going extended cruising. Then we have one from Charles Wilson. I don't know him. Oh, that's clothesline also.
Yeah.
You know what phone number it is, Jeff?
No, but it's actually under Susan Olson.
I'm sure these are two flags.
Then we got this guy taking advantage, David Cole, asking for a Rule 11.
I'm not inclined. Mechanical issues.
Yeah, sure. Okay, I think were there more?
No.
Okay, good. All right, new business. We've done 11A already. We've done 11B. We've got one more on, You think this was related to a violation?
Yeah, because they're asking to retain, I suspect it's related. It doesn't say in there that it's related to a violation because they're asking to retain riprap that was installed and remove some of it by hand. Do plantings where they're removing riprap and then also like removing riprap. I think it's below the low tide mark. So I suspect, and it's just because it's not written there, I just suspect that it's they placed riprap without authorization to do so. They're an issue to notice violations, so they're probably trying to make it right and retain what they have placed as best they can.
Does anybody have any issue with that?
No.
I think they're gonna right off the DEP on it.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we say that the LWRD license application for 14 Bliss Street is consistent with the harbor management plan. Is there a second?
Second.
I'll second.
Further discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor say aye.
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 Passes unanimously. This was the one that was incomplete last time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Can I give this to you also?
Yep.
Thank you. Portable toilet rental discussions.
So, we were contacted by a local, company. She'd like to have her business considered. This estimate she gave me is, I mean, obviously we only use one toilet at each place and we don't have a handicap toilet. So, I mean, just look at the rate of $120. Right now, the company that we're using is United Rentals. They just bought out Clean Restrooms, who had originally bought out Olson's. So this is like our third buyout in the last couple of years. They're only charging us $100, but they're not local. So I bring it forward for you guys to consider. If you'd want to pay a little more to have a local person that maybe wouldn't get bought out every other year. Or if you want to keep, with, I think I've gotten this one squared away now. They have our tax exempt number now and what have you, but I told her that I would present her estimate to you guys and her request to be considered.
Did she know that that's higher than the other?
I don't know if she did. I could give her the opportunity to get closer to that price or meet it.
How much is it going up?
It would be $20 extra.
A month?
If we,
Move to the local.
yeah, to move to the local.
Where's her estimate?
Oh, it's just one, yeah, this one, so we'd have two of them on, so one very Sheffield.
Right, but what she's saying two at each of our locations, which is wrong.
Right,
We'd only have one.
Two.
Yeah. And we don't want the
I
handicap.
would be inclined to go with a local company, but I think I'm not inclined to pay more.
Right.
Yeah, just give them the opportunity to match.
Yeah, you guys can decide.
Okay.
Downstairs toilet.
Can we just say that? No, I was just thinking, is there a way we can just have Jennifer make this decision?
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
absolutely. Say if it matches hers.
I don't know if we need a vote for this or
Do you
not.
want to finish out the season with UR or do you want to just have me have them take their toilets away and she starts up? Because we'll have the toilets there through October, so August, September, 3 more
Why don't we
months.
just finish with this one? It's just
Yeah.
one less
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
to do in the
yeah.
business.
Yeah.
Because if things, all of a sudden we don't have it for a week, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, why don't we do that?
That's a
Okay.
good idea.
Okay.
Make it.
In the meantime, you can talk to her and tell us when you're ready to come back to us.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Better way to do it. Yep.
Rob, this is yours.
You know, I was going from,
Oh,
Let me just say one thing, because I was so proud of myself. Well, that one I'm not proud of because I was supposed to talk to Carl. I recall based on our conversations. I did call him first thing this morning. He was in a meeting, asked him to call me before the end of the day. I asked him to call me and he didn't get back to me. So I have no information.
Okay.
So why don't you
sure.
take it from
And I think it's really, my point here is going to be a starting point of a conversation anyway that may last.
Sure.
So, which is fine. So road ending, public access, really just public access points in general. I know there's a history that this has come up before for the commission. This one, I can speak to a recent event that occurred in Cornfield that I don't know, I'm not very close to, I don't know a lot about, but it really just makes a good point about how do we actually manage these, or what involvement do we have with public access points. But friends of mine reached out from Cornfield. There was, something going on with one of the road end access points where an adjacent homeowner, as I understand it, was doing, plantings or something, and they had put rope up to kind of restrict people from using the public access point. They were asked to bring that down. They took that down, and they were going to put boulders up, which everyone saw as another way to kind of restrict access to the public access point. And I think that got challenged by Cornfield. And I don't know all the details on this, but all this was kind of happening on the side. People had reached out to me because they knew I was part of the Harbor Management Commission saying, hey, what are you guys doing about this? And I said, nothing really. It's actually kind of this weird gray area where, we don't have any involvement, but technically I think we should. I don't think we don't have jurisdiction maybe so much of the land, but what it is not just these road endings, but in general, public access points to the water in Old Saybrook provide public access to the water, which is like a core element of the Coastal Zone Management Act, which trickles down to our harbor management plan, a core element of our harbor management plan. So I don't know what is a stat. I think it used to be under the jurisdiction of the Waterfront Commission or something right, and had lived under slightly different rules than what we do. So I think my point is, I don't think we need to argue that we need jurisdiction over these points, but I do think we should have some sort of, there should be something, if any sort of modifications, changes, whatever improvements are proposed to be made, that we should have some involvement or say review of what it is, just to ensure that something isn't occurring and being allowed to occur that then restricts access to the water, which is what we're trying to enhance. And I know there was a case a while back, and I don't know a lot about this one, it's all hearsay, but there's supposedly a public access point in Fenwick that disappeared, and the land that it was on got transferred to a private person in Fenwick, and then suddenly there's no more public access. I don't know how true that is. Seems like it could be true, but that type of stuff is, I think, what we want to kind of avoid. If someone's about to make a decision about some of these public access points, that's then going to remove it or discourage people's use or whatever. Just having a voice in that conversation. I don't know how we go about doing it. I don't know if it's have a conversation with Carl. I don't even know how they're managed right now. I don't know how we inject ourselves into it.
So it's a legitimate discussion.
Yeah, it's a legitimate discussion. That same one where I think the people were trying to discourage. If you go down there, like at some point they had literally built a driveway, like their driveway goes over the public access. So somebody at some point made a decision to be like, yeah, go ahead, build a driveway over this public access point.
I remember taking a bike ride and seeing that one.
Yeah.
A while ago, 3 years ago or more.
Yeah, and that's what happens to them as they get absorbed.
Yeah, they get disappeared by little bites.
Yeah, little bites.
Yeah.
That's right. Little bites. And it can be landscaping that makes it seem like it's not a public access.
Right.
That looks like it's part of the house next door.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah. And I mean, the signs down there still say waterfront, like contact the Waterfront Commission, which is
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some. I went through this about 3 years ago.
We need new signs.
But then who do we say to? Yeah,
not us.
Yeah, exactly. That's the tricky part.
Yeah.
Is it's not really.
Yeah, and a lot of them are different. The one on North Cove Road, the one that's right.
Yeah.
That's got a barrier across.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
cars can't go down, but you can easily go through there on a bike or walk, and there's a bench at the end. It's actually a beautiful spot.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah.
It's one of the best ones.
Yeah. But
There's
decisions,
just no parking.
decisions like that are things
Yeah.
that you would think, because it is changing how people can use those public access points, that they're decisions that should at least go through the Harbor Management
Yeah, I
Commission
agree.
for some sort of say or review.
Yeah.
Right. And there's arguments to be made, say, for example, that one, they may have had safety concerns, vehicles dropping off, or, whatever, they're having problems with vehicles down there. So be it, but they're at least open that door for that conversation to happen.
That's, I think, worthwhile.
David, do you have any comments to this?
Yeah, I remember that's been going on for a long time. And Michael Pace, the prior selectman, who had issues down in Cornfield Point. People were putting rocks in the shrubs. They had removed the shrubs and then they put in boulders. It's been going. And Carl's probably got a better handle on it. I think you really need to talk to get a discussion going with him, because I think he's gotten involved with them since then. And I know a lot of these beaches have they have access, but you don't have the parking. You just have no parking.
Yeah. I think now, like those communities, and I live down there, so I see it, but everyone goes around by golf cart. So that's how people are actually able to travel some distance to get to a public access point, walk down and use the beach. And I don't know if that's always well appreciated by, you know, the neighbors of those places. They do become more popular because they become accessible. Yeah.
So I can do this, and it's just a follow-up what I was supposed to do and did not do in a timely manner. Is that I can have a general conversation with Carl about his views on us, and I will represent to him that unless, you know, I want David to speak up, is that somehow that we feel we've got some responsibility to, not responsibility, interest in maintaining public access points.
Yeah.
Even though it may be beyond what, you know, exactly we're chartered with up until right now.
It depends how you look at it. You look at our harbor management plan.
Nothing in there.
No, a big piece of the harbor management plan is going to be, like, there's language in there about maintaining public access.
Oh, I know that.
And not specific to these points, right?
No, but generally.
Yeah.
All right, but if you look at our authority.
Yeah.
My understanding is this.
Yeah.
It's everything below the coastal jurisdiction line, or as delegated by the select.
Yeah.
I think I have that right.
Yeah.
So that's how we have control over Sheffield Street, the launch ramp,
Yeah.
and Ferry Road.
Yeah.
Other than that, we don't have it.
Landscape, yeah.
And we don't want it, to be fair.
Well,
You know, like, but there's an element of it that it impacts what we do actually, you know, manage.
If we ever get to the harbor management plan, which
Yeah.
is lots of energy on that process.
It's a winter
But
project.
Yeah, it's probably, you know, probably would be a good idea to have a list of them in the harbor management plan. You know, if just
Access points, public access
yeah,
points,
so we
yeah.
could point back and say, hey, this is.
I'd be surprised if that's not something that's in other harbor
I
management
would be
plans.
surprised.
But why don't we do this? I'll try to get Carl's here. I'll try to coordinate it that maybe you can take half an hour.
Sure.
And be tapped in, get a phone call.
Yep.
And we'll go from there.
Yeah.
All right.
That's fair.
And then we'll report back to the commission on what Carl said. It's a valid point to keep these things open. Yeah, I'm just
Yeah, it
gonna
is.
say it just as plain as that, you know?
It is.
It's a town
And you can't
resource,
Lose them.
and I was in town when, I think it was Pace opened them all up.
Mhm.
It was
It was an
tough.
uproar.
You lose
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
you lose them, it's hard to get them.
Right.
Hard to get it back.
Yep,
And there just needs to be some like, checks and balances, right? Like if there's a single point making all decisions for them, you know, you don't have much, it depends what their interests are, right?
I will say this, that I had a friend who since passed away that was very, it was like one of his pet issues.
Yeah.
And one time I called Carl, who was gonna start talking about the public access points. He said, just before you start, I'm driving around looking at them all right now. That was about 2 or 3 years ago, so he takes some sort of active role, you know, I can't say what that role is, but he's certainly aware of the issue, and it's always been, I think, fair with stuff like this, so. Okay. Railroad Bridge, I don't really have anything.
A lot going on up there.
It's impressive.
Holy.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
Yeah, when I saw 2 dump trucks, full-size dump trucks sitting on a barge.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, they got some real iron.
Yeah.
As this, you know, with sailboat, you're always going through the open bridge,
Yeah.
but now everyone is funneled into that.
Oh,
Like,
not quite.
not quite.
Yeah, I can get my.
You can find it. I haven't been brave enough to try and sneak through new spots, but I was like,
I gotta go through there.
It's closing though, isn't it?
it's, yeah, I mean, it gets interesting there some days. A lot of people going through.
Before I go on, that reminded me, because I I think we could take this under 8A, all right? If not, I'll make a motion that we add this. I was supposed to talk to Caldarella, Mark Caldarella, about our shoaling issue and dredging. Okay? First issue was, do they intend to dredge or not the channel opposite Ferry Road? You guys comfortable with me carrying this under dredge? Okay. The answer is yes. After the bridge is done, which is a long way from here, so it's essentially, you know, it's not imminent. Okay, which makes sense. I'm having a hard time remembering the particulars, but I'm going to say this. When I talked to Mark, I think he was providing his opinions in good faith. He was, you know, being thoughtful and responsive. I asked him, you know, what general reactions he had about our alleged shoaling issue, not saying it exists or not, but even assume it exists, and how could the O&G activities contribute to that or accelerate that. And he went through a litany of facts with me that basically said because of this reason, this reason, this reason, and this reason, you know, ranging from the tugs that are operating in there are operating, you know, very low speeds when they're near it, blah, 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 blah. He said, I just don't see it. I just don't see it. He talked about, I think, one statement he made is he goes from working with these guys, if you could make the connection, I think this is a very responsible contractor and they will be responsible. So he's, you know, I don't think he was trying to shade it in any way in the O&G, you know, but he was very doubtful there could be a contribution. So based on that, I don't know if you want me to call Coastal or not call Coastal. See if they have any opinion about it.
Bob, I think it might be worth a call to Coastal, at least to get an idea from them, because they have probably, prior to O&G in there, I know that they had a permit, Caldarella had a permit on file with Deep and for dredging, and it was extended for at least, he had a 3-year, it expired, they got another 3 years. They might have the original data on the actual depth.
Online somewhere? Aren't all the permits online?
Well, it would be more interesting what Coastline has. Like the one thing that they may be able to tell us is they'll have previous surveys that they've done for whatever reason, whether they've done them for sampling plans or permits or whatever. Yeah, you could get like a permit application online and find the survey, but they have the actual data and then they can create layers if they have enough of them to show you like sedimentation rates, you know, from year to year, depending on, you know, how often they have them out there. So there might be some information there. The tricky piece is it is really difficult to point a finger and say, okay, over the last 2 years when you guys were there, our sedimentation has increased.
Correct.
Right? Like that's just a very wishy-washy.
Yeah.
Like it depends on how many storms show up in Vermont, the sediment, like there's so many things that you can challenge that. I don't doubt, you know, all the movement in that marina, and then it's gonna stir up that sediment. It's gonna go somewhere. I kind of disagree with Cal in the sense that I think there's a good likelihood that it does come over and, you know, silt in our area more, but proving that is like, you know.
So let's just say I call Coastal, right?
Yep.
I wouldn't, if I was Coastal, I wouldn't give up a client's data without asking.
No, they'd have to ask. It's their, they own it.
So wouldn't the person, if we want to go down that, wouldn't it be best for us to ask directly? Yep.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
Do we want to do that? Because we're going to basically, what we're going to be doing to them is to say, well, we need this to help prove that O and G, you know, or disprove that O and G had some sort of I'm making this up because I don't.
Yeah. What it really tells us is just to demonstrate whether or not we've seen what we perceive as an increased sedimentation rate, if it's real, right? Like if it's been measured. Like we may think that it seems to be filling in quicker now, but it's tough to say that without looking at the data. And this may be a source of data to help tell us that. It doesn't tell us where it came from, you know?
I understand.
Right,
That.
it just says, yeah.
Yeah.
But why wouldn't the survey that they took? I get it. It would be better to get the electronic data and the layers and you know. But if we can find the permit, I mean,
Yeah, we can go that by, yeah.
I'm making that up right now, but didn't you do that on Ferry Road? Didn't you go through all the historical permits?
Yeah, I have the historical permits, but that, what we would need is if they put the hydrographic data on the whatever,
Pre-dredge survey.
pre-dredge survey or any sort of survey for any application that they had for that marina prior to us prior to O&G doing the work where they're doing it, right? Like we need something historic that was there
Correct.
prior to that work. And then we have our pre-dredge survey and we can compare those two.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was saying.
Yeah.
Do you think you could find that permit?
I can try. I think we'd have it through our like harbor manager. I think it would have come through us. Like you can't just go find. I don't think DEP permits are accessible online, nor the Corps unless they go to public notice. You might be able to find it through public notice. Okay. So there's avenues that you may be able to find it. But then again, that really tells us.
Let me search my email first. Okay?
Yeah.
Because I don't throw any of the stuff out electronically. So let me go through my emails and see if I can find. I just want a starting point. You know, before we start asking people for data and everything else, can we just get a gut feel by publicly available information?
Yeah. And the 2 points of data that we need, like as many as we can get, but we need prior to O&G's work and then post O&G's work, right? That shows what the rate is with O&G working there. And then something prior to all of that, you know, prior, like something earlier that shows leading up to before O&G work. So you can see if there's a rate increase.
It's discrete data points.
Right.
I'm assuming, and this is why maybe you and I are missing each other. I'm assuming that the prior to O&G's work, right? Let's just say prior to the bridge, right?
Yeah.
Prior to the bridge should be in the dredging application, right? Because there's a pre-dredge survey. I'm just guessing that the bridge has only been going on for 2 years max, right?
Yep.
They had to submit the permit for that a year and a half before that, or 2 years before that, or something minimum.
Yep.
So we've got the before. We can get that. It's paper, you know, and it's limited compared to the hydrophonic data.
Yep.
Am I missing that?
No, I think that's right. We just need the 3 points. You need
Way back.
the amount that's accumulated prior to any sort of work going on, bridge work.
Yeah.
And then you need, that's a middle data point, right? There's an old one, then there's one prior to work, and then one after the work. So you can see what the accumulation was between these two.
Oh, I see
and
what you're saying.
then
I see what you're saying.
Three.
Yeah, you need three.
I got it. And let me see what I can find first, right? Maybe I get lucky, maybe I won't. No, I don't know.
Yep.
In my email. I mean, it's going to be a very sophisticated search. I'm going to search the word dredge
Yeah.
or permit.
Come to permit, you're gonna get a lot.
Yeah, I know.
But it won't be very sophisticated, but it might be very telling too, right? Like in the end, if it shows a dramatic increase for that time period, but then that's pretty telling that something different is occurring.
Yeah, something. You
Yeah.
don't know. Right. Okay. I'll take that on. Ordinance change, I got nothing to report, but I'm almost a little bit more No, I think that's worth bringing up. I think I think I gotta start talking to the chief
Yeah, we did.
in the fall, okay? Just to tighten that up.
Same on 12C. I don't have to talk to the chief, but I
Yeah.
lost steam.
Launch ramp piles, that's Lou. Sheffield, and we're waiting for the core permit. Sheffield Street Town Dock, that's, to keep us thinking about it. North Cove signage placement.
The big sign we
Yeah, I know.
bought 3 years ago.
I know, we've got the piles in, but I don't know where that sits.
I was hoping to ask.
I haven't noticed those piles, that's funny.
Yeah, they're there. They're not, they're short. They're enough to put.
Yeah.
I think he needs to put additional structure on top of that stuff.
Yeah.
So. It was also that, I think I copied you on one of the logs along with poles. I've asked him a couple times about that. Because what's happening is all the lots of this is getting up onto the shore, so it gets hard to get to the boats. Because of the log.
Why don't you text them
Yeah.
and copy me?
I did, I'll do it again.
I thought
It may be gone, but I haven't.
Yeah.
You know, I agree. That's why.
Understood.
Yeah, there was
Okay.
that, and that he was also gonna talk to the property owner next to on the eastern side of the clothesline. The guy hasn't responded to me on his neighbor, it's nice. About trimming that branch that hangs over the bench.
Yeah.
The tree is on the other guy's property. I think overhanging branches legally do.
Yeah, but
Don't start.
yeah, exactly. I agree.
So Brian actually brought that up as a thing to do, and I'm monitoring that too. So I got 3 things.
Why don't you text them?
Yep.
Copy me on
Yep.
those 3 things, and I'll go through on it.
Yep.
I got the sense that he started really strong this year and everything went in on schedule,
And then kind of,
and then other things are occupying him. Feels behind.
Yeah.
Just little
Yeah.
things I'm
I
saying.
see him out there a lot.
He's out there. No, that's what I mean. I'm giving him credit for working
yeah.
really hard on things.
And apparently it did, he had to recover the boat that got unhooked from its mooring.
Yeah, I forgot all about that. He actually pulled it off.
Yeah, he did.
He pulled it off, which,
I never know this happened in the code.
Yeah,
that was a big boat too.
a cigarette butt. Like, they actually, somebody.
Whose mooring is it?
Our neighbor on North Cove, the boat's sitting out there at Kurt's house.
But it was sitting on a mooring in the mooring field?
Yeah,
He has a mooring in North Cove. It typically wasn't there, right?
right.
Somebody put it on the mooring. I don't know if it was him or a relative.
Right.
And he didn't tie it to the mooring securely.
Yeah.
And it drifted in light wind throughout the cove and wound up on the abandoned railroad bed.
Now, the story I heard was it was tied securely, but it was somehow intervention.
I didn't hear that. I heard just the opposite.
Okay, well, you're probably more reliable, because I was getting it from a third party already. So, but I could ask the guy.
But then they pulled it off the.
Scott pulled it off.
Yeah, and the guy pulled the boat out.
Huh.
And the barbecue scuttlebutt was that I'm not gonna say, never mind.
Are you looking for the picture?
I
This
am.
is the one.
I got it.
Oh, wow, yeah, that's a.
Yeah, oh, you got that? I didn't see that.
That's, which one do you have?
The one you sent me.
Oh, yeah, it's a big boat.
Yeah. And that is sitting up there high.
That's what I thought too.
Did you send me that? Did you?
Yeah, sure.
It had to have been a high tide just to
Boy,
get it up
yeah.
there.
Seriously?
Funny, because when I saw it, first of all, first place I saw it was Facebook,
Yeah.
but it said south of the Connecticut Railroad Bridge, and I'm thinking,
Huh.
that's really funny the way that sits there, and I had no idea it was North Cove, then all of a sudden went down to the boat, it's like, there it is. So,
Interesting.
um, but when it was on there, looking from those pictures and everything, I thought it was on rocks.
That's
But
not.
it doesn't appear to be, I think it was on it kind of hit the grass
Yeah.
first, so it was lucky. But we sent out, you guys didn't get a shot mooring holders anymore, not rubbing it in.
Yeah. Over there, on the wrong side of the mud line.
This thing, this thing, it wasn't a big storm, so it wasn't moving fast, but it went through the mooring field,
Yeah,
but it was. So we sent out an email to all the mooring holders saying, we had a boat break free. If you think you have some damage from the boat, contact us and we'll put you in contact with the owner. But no one surfaced on that, right?
No.
figure if it's not windy, it just barely touches anything.
But the outboards, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
The outboards could, you know, if it's, right,
Yeah.
that's right.
Stainless steel props. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Wow.
Okay, Paul, you're up.
So let me just clarify for you, Paul, before you get into this.
Yeah.
Only the first two bills haven't already been paid. Everything else I paid already with Bob's permission
That's right.
to get it in under the wire for the fiscal year.
So the ones that we need to approve are the restrooms,
Yeah, the two restroom ones and
two Connecticut water.
no, the Connecticut water ones.
They're the
are
ones
paid.
that are done.
Yeah, and the restroom ones, as you can see, I circled because when they transferred our accounts from one company
Yep,
to the
yep,
other,
yep.
our tax exemption did not transfer, and so I had to resubmit that.
Okay. All right, so motion to approve the following bills, keep me honest. $100 for, I guess it's United Rentals for Ferry Road and 100 for Sheffield. Water bills got paid. Applebee's is paid, Northworks is paid. That's it. No, everything else is paid. So just those two.
Yeah.
Okay, just those two bills need to be paid. Motion to pay those.
There a second?
Second.
Discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Passes unanimously. David?
David?
I will make a motion to adjourn at 8:35.
Second.
Discussion, hearing no discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.